More than 70% of the public want answers on how the corporation is run after the scandal. A top-down investigation into the running of the BBC is needed in the wake of the Huw Edwards scandal. Just under 3/4 of the public believe. Polling shows 73% feel a thorough inquiry into the corporation's management is required, as questions continued to rage over its handling of the affair. Despite this, 25% said they would like to see Mr. Edwards back on their screens, clashing with 33% who think he should not return to his television role. The news presenter, 61, is in hospital suffering serious mental health issues after his wife confirmed he was the subject of claims he paid a teenager of 17 for sexual images. He is facing no action by police. The claims, made by the Sun newspaper, led to a guessing game on social media to identify the presenter, as he was not named in the initial newspaper reports. While some commentators have rounded on the newspaper, many others say that the BBC has questions to answer. The mother and stepfather of the youngster at the center of the claims, now aged 20, had said they attempted to raise what happened with BBC bosses, but to no avail. They went on to develop a crack cocaine addiction, they said. The story has also put pressure on the future of the license fee, a leading critic of the funding model believes. Andrew Allison, chief executive of the Freedom Association, believes Mr. Edwards should not be allowed back on air. He said, "It's timely, and it has stoked the fire in the funding debate." On the day BBC boss Tim Davie was defending his handling of the Huw Edwards case, and Mr. Edwards' pay rise of £35,000, the most recent annual report was released. The license fee income had gone down, but I noticed that the commercial income increased by 30%. It proves the argument about the BBC surviving in a commercial world. And I think many people would still subscribe. Mr. Edwards has. Senior politicians also expressed concerns that the BBC was too slow to investigate the original allegations and have insisted the broadcaster must get its house in order. Former Home Secretary Dame Priti Patel said, "The BBC has very serious questions to answer about whether it properly investigated when the family first alerted them with their claims. The BBC must be utterly transparent in the investigations that are taking place. In the past, it has let its viewers down by failing to investigate complaints quickly and thoroughly. They must not make the same mistake again." Former Justice Minister Sir Mike Penning said BBC executives think they have a God-given right to operate how they like. He said the vast majority of the population that are forced to pay the license fee would see this as a global opportunity for the BBC to reform and come into the 21st century. He went on, "Clearly, their management and the way that they are set up is just ludicrous. The management of the BBC are just dinosaurs." As for the claims, BBC Director General Tim Davie was not told of the claims for nearly 7 weeks. Sir Mike argued that a chain of command within the organization just doesn't exist. PR guru Mark Borkowski said the BBC is up against huge challenges, as the case involving Mr. Edwards was just the latest in a number of controversies, and noted it is a very difficult organization to run. He said, "The BBC is an institution that actually suffers from PTSD. If you think of the list of blows they've had over the last year, such as the Bashir case and Gary Lineker, they try to actually put robust processes in place, but it's a huge, unwieldy organization. It's also going through a sea change with vast competition from the likes of Apple and Netflix, all the while responding to the concerns of the public about what it is and was, when it can't be that any longer." He said it is difficult to think of how to you can only give people advice when